Okay, so for the purposes of our conversation tonight, we can pick question number 5 and discuss question number 5. Yeah, then if we answer question number 5 successfully, I do think question number 5, let me see. Okay. Yeah. But if we do question number 5, I think that'll be okay. We will be able to answer many other related questions that I will show you later on. We can just start from question number 5. And this is the question that we are discussing. The question number 5 reads, you have just been appointed as a strategic manager. In your planning, you have decided to undertake macro environment analysis. So prepare a detailed macro environmental analysis. So you are to prepare a detailed macro environmental analysis. You know, just as I said last time, first time I gave you the stages involved in strategic plan, but we started last time looking at those details, at those stages in detail. In the previous conversation, we had goal setting, a very interesting conversation. I would encourage those that were not there to go through it. And now to this evening, we have analysis. We just want to do with a part of analysis. Remember last time I talked about analysis. So we have now started looking at analysis as part of the stage in detail on its own. Okay. So to start with, since we are answering the question, we will just start with the analysis of the macro environment. So basically the analysis of the analysis that is done is categorized into 3 major parts, okay? So we analyze the macro environment as we are deciding, as we are collecting data and obtain some information that would be very paramount and important as in the formation of the strategic plan. I did say that the first stage or the first thing that you do is to analyze, to do some analysis. So as you are doing the analysis, the first thing that is important, the analysis is divided into macroeconomic, macro environment analysis. Then there is the internal environment analysis. Okay. So you do external, let me write like this. External environmental analysis, which is divided into the macro and the task. Okay, macro and the task environment analysis. Task environment. Yeah. Task environmental analysis. So these are they. So there is the macro level of analysis. There is also the micro level of this analysis, which is also called the task environmental analysis. The macro level analysis is the first one. It's also part of the external environmental analysis. All in all these are the all the two, the macro environmental and the task environmental analysis, they are external environmental analysis. So since we are just answering the question in this session, we will focus on the macro, okay? The macro environmental models that are used, okay? The models that we use to analyze the macro environmental, the macro environment, sorry, yeah. Then obviously in the next conversation or even within the same conversation, if we have time, we'll look at the other tools or models that are used to analyze the task environment, which is also called the micro environment. So let's zero in and look at the macro environment analysis. So the most common or the common tool that is used in analyzing the macro environment is what is known as the the PESTEL analysis. And so I want to talk about the PESTEL analysis in this same conversation. Let me talk about PESTEL analysis, not just on a surface, but we look at it, let's look at it in a more detailed way, okay? We want to look at the PESTEL analysis. We are trying to analyze the external environment. So get to understand that PESTEL analysis is one of the models that is used to analyze the macro environment, actually, the macro business environment. And these, last time we said that they are just the acronyms. That stands for, you said P stands for what? We want to talk about them now.
Political.
Okay, P stands for political. And the E, you said it stands for?
Environmental. Oh.
Okay, let's E stands for economic, and the S stands for what?
Social.
Social.
For social, and let T stands for
Technology.
For technology, and the E stands for, is the other one you had said? Environmental. Environmental factors, and the L stands for what?
Legal.
For the legal factor. Okay, thank you. So now, most of the times, this is how the question is done. The question can come direct, like just the way how I have phrased it, or just the way how that in that paper it was. But that question always comes, but in different ways. Sometimes in other papers or in other years, the question is phrased as, can you do PESTEL analysis? Or they can give you a situation, okay? They give you a situation, a long page, maybe 2 pages story, like some situation. Then they say, can you carry out a PESTEL analysis of this particular company? That's another way how the question can come. Or they can say, do a PESTEL analysis using any company of your choice, okay? They can say, using any company of your choice, choose any company and conduct a PESTEL analysis for that particular company. And you should have the ability to do that. So there is no specific way. So the question can be phrased in different ways. It can be like, analyze the environmental, do some environmental analysis. Of course, you understand that by environment, macro environment analysis, we're talking about different models, such as DESTO, PESTI, and PESTEL is the common one. Then you can do everything using PESTEL. Or if it is asking like, choose any company of your choice, please, you can still answer that question in that manner. Let's dive into it now. Let's pick number 1, political. Let's pick political. Now, what are some of the things that you consider when you're looking at political? I'll give time for people to comment and answer. Number 1, the following are the things that you consider under political when you're analyzing the environment. The political systems, okay? You analyze, I'll explain in detail. Political systems, okay? Government stability. Political systems, government stability. Government regulations and frameworks. So you can have the GAFT regulations, okay? And some frameworks. You can have environmental registration as well, the registration on the environment. It's given by the by the political powers. Taxation policy. Taxation policy. Privatization or deregulation policies, deregistration policies, health and safety regulations, public expenditure controls. Okay. healthy, and the safety regulations. These are some of the things that you can consider under political, the political part of the environment, the political environment of it. Number one, we are talking about the political systems, okay? Companies or countries have got different political systems. And these same political systems have got an effect, okay? They have a bearing on the operations of the business. Remember, you do most of the times this analysis before you venture into the business or before you launch the new product, just to understand the macro part of it. So you can understand how the political systems are. What political system are they using? Okay, maybe I phrase a question to the class. What does the class understand by this political system? Would you give us any two examples of those political systems? Hello? What comes in the mind of the class when they hear political systems?
Maybe it means, is it a democratic kind of political system, or it's a dictatorship, whereby
Okay.
if it is dictatorship, people are not free to do things.
Okay. Thank you so much for that contribution. Do we have any other?
Hello.
Go ahead.
Okay, so for me, I would contribute that so when you're starting this business, you need to understand what type of political setup is in each country. So is it a dictatorship? So that if you know that there is a dictatorship in this country, you probably know how to manage your assets. It gives you an insight to what assets you can invest that can't be grabbed or in such situations. If it's democratic, then you will also be able to know how you're going to invest your money in this country. So that's what I would say.
Okay. Thank you so much for that contribution. Do we have any other? The last one. Right. So people have already been researching. You understand that if the political system that you have, maybe let's say you are, let's say it's monarchy. You know, that kind of system where people don't vote. We know that we don't expect any elections at any time. We expect the same kind of people to be ruling in the country, and you know the effect of the same on the business. So just to add on what has already been said, government stability is one of the key things to consider. How is the stability in terms of governance? Okay. Or in other words, this can still be put as political stability or instability, right? Yeah. How stable is the government? Do those people quarrel all the time? Is there peace in the land? Okay. How is the political environment? How is the governance of that particular environment where you want to set up the business? It is very important for you to understand that. The regulations that the government put are equally important to come into your consideration. Yeah, you have to consider the regulations and the laws, the regulations that the government set. And apart from the regulations, it's important for you to see the policies that are there under taxation. Remember, most of the times you may go in that country to save, or in that environment as a profit-making organization. And as a profit-making organization, you pay tax. So what are some of the policies that are there for taxation? You understand? So it's very, very important that you understand all that, because there are different policies that are set maybe on taxation. You can share some of them, and I open this conversation to the class. Any comment on the taxation policy? Yes, go ahead.
Yes, so with this one, so when you're venturing into a business, you know that you're supposed to be making a profit. So with respect to taxation, you might find that your profit will actually be chewed by the same taxation regime which is there. For example, if the taxation keeps on changing every now and then, you might find that your money might be completely chewed. But if the taxation is stable and you know how to work around it or what amount of money you need to make for you to pay the taxes, gives you an insight of what to expect. But if the taxation policy is not favorable to you, definitely you would make other plans. That's what I can say on this.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. So there are different taxation policies that environments have, usually countries at this level. And so, for example, you may have that some industries are charged more higher rates than the other, which in the case of your own country, which industry pays low levels of taxes? Which sector, if you may like to call it like that?
It's just a try, maybe farming, agriculture sector.
Agriculture. Are you aware of the percentage rate, the rate of taxes, the corporate taxes, of course, on agriculture? Okay. So basically, you find that some rates are different for each industry. Okay. So in different industries pay different levels of taxation. And actually, there are some industries where you can be exempted for some time from paying tax as you are setting up. And then later on, then you can, of course, apply for an exemption for that time. Then afterwards, you can still start paying taxes. So it's very important that you understand that the health safety rules also that are set by the political environment are so important. Let's have now the economic environment. The economic factors now. With the economic factors include the following: the interest rates and inflation. Okay. It includes things such as the exchange rates, including things such as consumer confidence, the business cycles, you know those things, the business cycle. This is basically macroeconomics that you learned previously. Economic growth prospects, economic growth prospects, economic growth prospects, and unemployment rates, unemployment rates, and disposable incomes, labor costs. Labor costs. These are some of the things that you can consider when you're looking at the economic factors of as you are analyzing the macro environment. See, the interest rates are very, very important and significant to be analyzed and the levels of inflation in the land where you're going to invest. Because if you invest in the land where you have galloping inflation, or where you have hyperinflation, obviously you know that your money will be losing purchasing powers almost on a daily basis, and you have to understand all that. So analyze the inflation rates of the environment during that time, and study the inflation rates, how it has been, moving or behaving for a good period of time in the past. You go back in the past and collect data, do the analysis. Okay, the levels of the interest rates are very important to be understood here as well. You know that the higher the interest rates, the more expensive the loans become. Yeah. So in the times where at some point you would want to get some loans, you know that if interest rates are high, it means that the cost of borrowing will be so high, and that may not really be good that may not really be a good environment for you as you're setting up the business for a start. Just giving you an example. The exchange rates as well are extremely important to be kept in check, or to be looked at. Okay, because if you look at the exchange rates and study the way how they have been behaving over the time, and you see they are just ever increasing, then you are in danger. And it's very important that you analyze and see what is going on. So all this information is very important for you as you are analyzing the macroeconomic environment. You can look at investors' confidence as well. Of course, that comes because of the way how these same factors are there. Okay, how they are behaving. Let's say the interest rates, how they are set, the inflation rate, exchange rates, among others. The business cycles, you still remember that these are basically the up and down turns in the economy. Basically, the business cycle, there is that time when you have a boom, and the time that you have a recession. Can you remember the business cycle from macroeconomics? The boom, on top here you have a boom, and down here you have a recession, depression, recession, just like that. So there's that time when you analyze the business cycle of this economy. Is it at par? Is it at the time where the economy is growing, or is it right on top, or is it down? How has been the cycle? Okay, analyze how the figures are moving. Of course, we're talking about the figures such as the gross domestic product, GDP, the key indicators to economic growth per se. Look at things such as employment rates and unemployment rates. Disposable income, this is very important because it will give you a signal on the purchasing power of the people that you're going to, where you're going to save, okay, or where you're going to set up your business. Because if you see that the country or the environment where you're going to put your business, people have got low levels of the purchasing of disposable income, it means that they don't have money to buy. That is very important for you to analyze as well, to bring to your attention. There's a lot of labor, then you'll be affected as you are starting up the business. So you have to keep in check. All these things have to be analyzed and understood. On the economic factors, do I have any question or any contribution? Okay, but am I audible enough?
Yes, sir,
Yes,
but
you are.
sometimes the network is cutting.
Oh, how is it
Oh.
from others? Is it cutting? Is everyone confirming that the network is cutting from here?
Yes.
On my end, I was thrown out for some minutes.
Let me study. Is it from here or is from the individual ends?
Even on my side, it was cutting, so I thought it was my side.
Okay. Okay. How is it? How is it now? Is there any improvement?
Yeah, clear now.
Okay. Thank you. So basically, these are some of the factors that you have to put into consideration under economic factors. To run them through fast. We talked about the interest rates and inflation, exchange rates, consumer and producer confidence, business cycles, economic growth prospects, and the unemployment rates, disposable income, and labor costs. And I talked about labor costs in detail here. And I said that if the product that you want to launch is labor intensive, and then you look at the, you look at the area or the environment where you want to set up this to launch this product, labor is expensive, then obviously you're in danger because I mean you spend a lot of money on costs, on labor costs. So all these things have to be analyzed and brought to your attention before actually you can launch the product. This is the first part of the analysis on the economic factors. Do I have any question or contribution on the economic factors?
Yes, sir, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So, the commodity prices of things, for example, whatever you're dealing in, if you're going to be buying like fuel and all these things, where do you put them in everything that
The commodity prices,
yeah.
the prices fall under inflation. Unless I'm not understanding your question properly.
Okay, so if I'm going to be buying and selling things, so the prices, the commodity prices of things, for example, if I'm going to be dealing in steel, in timber, or those things, I'm going to be.
Oh, okay. Oh, those are the costs of the raw materials. Okay. So now the same cost of raw materials that you are getting to sell, obviously we have no problem if there is no inflation. Because if they are stable, the prices of everything, the general price level is stable, then we have no problem. But the problem is when, they are, remember we are looking, this is macroeconomics. We're looking at things at macro level in this model. So we just look at the general price level of the things, including all the raw materials that we are looking at. I don't know if that helps.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So now let's have the social, right? Let's have the social. Ma?
So I didn't get your explanation on consumer and producer confidence.
Okay. On the consumer confidence, you are trying to analyze like how will the people accept the product? Remember, you are researching so that you can make an information. Do the people have confidence in like in short, it should be understood in a way that how will the people accept this product or react to the product? There's a type where you develop a prototype and see if people are confident in the product that has been produced, that it can satisfy their needs. That was the part of them. Then on the other side, I commented on the confidence of those people that are producing. The other end would be it should be looked at like this. In you understand that if the producers, generally those are more like the investors, they have confidence in the way how things are going on, it means there is the good news in the land. So the producer confidence, I said, is affected by the analysis of these other corresponding factors. So if people don't have confidence, the producers don't have confidence, I mean, in the operation of the way how everything is running, the macroeconomic level, the way how these variables, like they are alarming, they are threatening, then you see that there is no peace. So in other words, or in simpler terms, when you go in the environment, you also have to keep ears open to what the people who have already been there are saying, okay? So you may get into the industry and everyone is just worried about how everything is going on, yeah, in that industry. I don't know if that helps.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So now let's look at the social culture, the social or cultural, factors. Now, the key ones that you consider here are demographics, the demographics one, the demographics, from the way the demography, okay, there you look at the population, the issue, the characteristics of the population, I would say so, and the household numbers. Then you look at things such as the values of a society, values in a society, okay, values of the society, changing lifestyle, right? Changing lifestyle. These are just social issues, lifestyle. And we would want someone to comment on all these. Changing lifestyle, work culture, work in leisure, changes in tastes and preferences, changes in tastes and the preferences, all these to be kept in check. And levels of education still matter. Okay. These are some of the things that you consider and the social culture. Let me start with demographics here. So basically you look at the population characteristics. These would include, number one, the size of the population, the age, okay, the composition of the population, and the structure of the population. So the size of the population, the composition of the population, the structure, okay, of the the population, sorry. So size, age, structure, composition, among others, okay? Those are what we call the demographics, right? So obviously, the impact of the size of the population on your business. Imagine you want to go and establish a supermarket, right? Those malls in a village that just has how many households? Approximately just have 25. In some areas, people have to cover very long distances before they go there. And that would really be bad to you. You really need to understand that the population size has that impact. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. The age, depending on the product that you want to offer. For example, you want to...
Sir, I don't know if it is at my end. You are breaking. I don't know if it's
Hello?
my network.
Okay, let me
You're
find
breaking.
out.
I don't know if it's at my end.
Okay. How is it from others?
You are clear.
People are saying I am clear. I think it should be from your end. Try to do something with your network. I do think so. Okay, thank you. A bit about the age. Maybe someone, a member of this class, to say something about the age. How would we factor in the age into our analysis? I open this conversation now to the class. Anyone? We're doing the macro environment analysis.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
So the way I understand this is the products that you want to, for example, you want to start selling or producing must cater for the type of age in the community. For example, if you're going to be producing, for example, video games, you need to understand the age group of the community that would be buying the video games that you're producing. If the age group of that certain community that you want to set up your business in has to do with big people or elders, you can't produce such products. Then you have to shift. Probably you would go after maybe business related things like even agriculture products, not the video games. So each age group has their own taste. So whatever business you are setting in, you need to understand the preferences of each age group.
All right. Thank you very much for that comment. Any comment on the composition? By composition, we mean in terms of the gender, male or female. How can we factor in gender into this analysis? Anyone to comment on that aspect?
Can I try?
You can go ahead.
Oh yes. So on a composition, you also need to analyze how many, for example, how many female and how many males in that area that you want to have that product. So for example, if you've got more women who wants to use a kind of soap, you need to consider that soap, the composition of ladies in that area, so that you determine if it's going to be profitable to venture into that product. Also, you might also consider their other medical products like the albinos. You consider, let's say, you want to start dealing in a product of cream into albino. Let's say in Lusaka, you also need to consider how many albinos we have in that area for that product to make an impact. So I think it's in that area that you analyze. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for that good analysis by the strategist. Okay. The values in the society are very, very important. Anyone who wants to say something about the values of the society?
I think on the values, when you are making a strategy, maybe you want to venture into something, maybe in a Islamic country, for example. When you want to go there, you understand that Muslims, they don't consume alcohol. So if you want to have such a business, if you don't understand what they stand for, you just go and start up a business like producing alcohol, maybe making alcohol, you end up making losses because that culture does not support that type of drinks. So before you go into business, you have to check what that culture supports and what they do not support.
Okay. Wow, thank you. Do we have any other comment on the same values?
I think it's clear. It's what the society wants to establish your business and believe in. Yeah, there are so many beliefs in, but to consider the world that's got its own beliefs. So you need to study those culture and in what they believe in for you to penetrate.
People must have been locked out. Before is logging in.
Hello, sorry, I was locked out. Are you able to hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so I was saying it's very important to understand the values of that particular society. For example, yeah, there are some values that you know they cannot just be favorable to your business that you're operating. Changing in the lifestyle, we have heard lifestyles of people now changing. You remember in the olden days, do you remember in the olden days to be this person who has got maybe for the gentleman, if you have got a very big tummy, we used to call it pot belly. You can't see your belt. That was sign of money. You remember those days, eh? At some point, those days, it used to be the sign of being powerful. But with passage of time, things have actually changed. Now, what you're trying to show is that lifestyle of people change over time. Even the foods that they eat will change over time, okay? You see the foods changing, everything changing towards a different direction. The levels of education are very important to be put into consideration too, because oh, I just stopped sharing the screen. That's why people see. Yeah. So I was saying the levels of education as well, they are very, very important to consider in the land. Anyone to pass a comment on the levels of education? Hello? Anyone to comment on the levels of education, how they impact the, yeah.
It's just an attempt. The level of education is very, very important because that's where we get the labor force.
Yeah. Very important. For example, you are forming the business, you know, in the business that you're forming needs a lot of tech people, you know, a lot of technicians or the people that have gone to school. We call them the technicians. And you set up in a business where you have these tech guys where you don't have anyone who is a tech guy. Maybe how far people have gone on average is just maybe grade 9, you know. People have not gone for higher levels of education. and that may really affect and impact your business negatively. So all these things have to be put and have to be brought to your attention. Right. Technological. Technological factors also need to be considered, and these would include, they would include the things that you would consider here, the alternative means of providing services, okay? The alternative means of producing, okay? Producing or providing the services, the new discoveries need to be brought to your attention, okay? So you can see the rate of, I would say, so rate of technological transfer as well. Technological transfer has to be considered. The new product potential, creating new competition, all these things have to be brought to your attention. Maybe it's very important for us to define technology once more, that it refers to the methods, the techniques, or the different ways that you can use to convert some input into the desired output. So basically, you have to pay attention to the new changes. And actually, you know, technology is taking the center stage. You can see that everything is changing. And if you just remain very quiet, you're not investing in research and development, then you will have challenges as a business. So it's very, very important that you pay attention and you move together with technology, copy up with the new changes that are actually taking place. Oh, the time is really moving so fast. Let me talk about the environmental factors. The environmental factors that include climate change, you know, climate change, water resources, it would include energy supply, okay, energy supply. All these things, they have to be brought to your attention. You have to make sure that you look at all these things as you actually setting up that particular business, or as you are trying to analyze the external environment. The climate change in the area or in that environment, very important. Do we have water in the land? How is the supply of energy? That is still very, very important for you to put and bring to your attention. The last set of factors that you have to consider are called the legal ones. The legal ones. The legal factors. Are you able to hear me and you can see the screen, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The legal framework, very important to be understood. Company law, employment law, business law, employment law, and some business regulations, which we call actually in simpler terms, business law. These have to be understood properly when you go and you are trying to analyze the external environment of the business. So look at the company law. What do the regulations say about, you know, the way? What does the law say about how we have to manage the company? There are some of the laws that may be there and may not really be favorable for your business. So it's very important that you keep yourself informed. The employment law. it's very important that you understand the law that guides the issues of employment in the land. Because if you are unaware of the law that guides employment in the land, then that's a problem. Because you don't know what it means to be employed. You don't even know what should be in the contracts of employment. And as a company, you may find yourself breaking the laws of the land. And so you may find yourself being sued all the time, and you lose money and because you're breaking the laws of the land. You're not a law-abiding company. So you really need to understand all these things. Study generally the company laws, the employment laws, business laws, all the law that guides the land. That is very important. So basically, these are the key factors that you have to consider when you're studying the external environment of a business.